Hey man, welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here, and I have a nice story for you today. I love telling the story because it stirs up some things inside us, and many of you out there who are listening can relate to this story. So I wanted to share it with you, give you a few points to think about, and then I'd like for you to contemplate this later on today. Don't spend too much time with it, but let it kind of sink in, like any good story. The themes aren't always as present. Some things are obvious, and other things kind of come to us later as we think on it a little bit. Just like with a good movie or a TV show or a book that you read, where you think about it weeks, months, maybe even years later. So I wanted to share this story with you today. I hope you're doing well out there, and I hope that you can drop some of those things that you too are carrying. There were two monks, one older monk and one younger monk. And they were walking just after a heavy rain on a muddy little path out in the woods, just down the outskirts of town. And they were walking back to their monastery, but they were down by the river. And because of the heavy rain, the river had gotten a little bit stronger. The current was moving pretty fast. And as they were walking, they came across a young woman who was there, and she seemed perplexed. And she saw the two monks dressed in their robes and whatnot. And she said, "Good, noble monks, please. The current has picked up, and I need to cross the river to get back home. But I'm afraid I'm not strong enough to manage this river in its current state, and I don't know how long it's going to keep up. I'm not sure I'm a great swimmer, and I'd just like some assistance getting across." The first monk, the younger monk, he started to go through in his mind all the reasons why and how to explain to this woman that due to their monastic rules, they were unable to physically touch or have contact with a female. It was against the rules. And so he's trying to figure out a way to solve the problem and to help out, being a good monk that he is, but without breaking the rules. And while he's going through this mental deliberation, having this internal dialogue of trying to break the news that they cannot help, but maybe they can find an alternate path or source, resource for her to cross, the second monk, the older monk, he walks over to her silently, picks her up, puts her on his shoulders, and he crosses to the other side. It wasn't that far, and the current wasn't that strong, but he was able to get her safely across. And he came back, soaking wet, but seemingly content. And the two monks considered walking. And the first monk, perplexed at this, had a surprised look on his face. But due to the older monk's contentment, peaceful, easy feeling that he had, he didn't say anything. And so they continued their walk. The second monk, peaceful, silent, mindful. The first monk, still going through the mental deliberation about how could this older monk, who I adore and look up to, break the rules like that. We took vows. Do they mean nothing? He's going on and on in his mind. Can't seem to be mindful and to enjoy the walk back to the monastery. And in fact, he's starting to get a little angry. He wants to uphold these rules. They're there for a purpose, have been there for centuries, and it's their spiritual growth that is at stake. How could this elder that he admires and looks up to break one of those sacred rules? And so he's going on in his mind. And they get back to the monastery. The first monk goes off, still perplexed at this whole situation, still going over it, turning it over in his mind. The second monk, he goes about his business, to his chores and tasks, to his meditation, while the first monk just can't seem to let it go. Can't seem to let his mind go and meditate. Whatever he does, anything that he tries, he keeps turning it over and over in his mind for hours. until he can't take it anymore. And he gets so frustrated with himself that he needs to go confront the second monk to ask why. Why did he break the vow? Why did he break the rules? Why did he take this woman across the river? And so he confronts that second monk and he says, "Brother, I can't get it out of my head. It's been hours and hours, and I keep turning it over and over, and you've said nothing about it. I admire you. I look up to you. I'm not sure I can trust you moving forward due to the fact that you broke one of the sacred vows of having physical contact with a woman." And the second monk offers, "Brother, I carried her across the river and I let her go. Why are you still carrying her? I set her down hours ago and I've forgotten about it. I've moved on. But you, not even having physical contact, not breaking one of the sacred vows, are continuing to talk about it and think about it, carrying her in your mind. Just let that go." This stirs up a lot of themes for us in our lives when we think about how many embarrassing moments, times we were traumatized, times when people made us angry, injustices in our lives that we still carry around to this day. Why are you still carrying those things around? You can let them go. Is it more important to uphold the rules? Somebody had the right of way, or I had the right of way and they cut me off, or you're not doing how you're supposed to do that thing. Rules are important. They provide safety and security, structure. However, sometimes kindness, wisdom are more important. Being of service, helping each other out. These themes surely are more important than rules. And why do we keep carrying around those things, those heavy burdens, when they're weighing us down and they're only toxic to us? We don't have to continue to carry those things around. So I'd like for you to consider the things you've been carrying around in your metaphorical backpack or in your mind, like heavy stones weighing you down. Those things happened. You don't have to forget about them, but you can forgive yourself for carrying those things around and set them down. Let them go. Don't continue to carry them. So I'd like for you to take this story in, see how it relates to you and your life, and seek to drop those heavy burdens. You don't have to carry them around any longer. They're not helping you. They're not changing what happened. And by doing this, you can become more like that older, wiser monk who chose kindness and wisdom, service, helping out a fellow human, and then moved on with his life. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. That doesn't define you. Your actions right now in this moment are the only thing that matters. So I hope you enjoyed the story. And I'd love to hear your take. I'd love to hear the things that it stirred up for you. So please feel free to share that with us. And we hope that you have a tremendous week with love and respect and honor. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.